Hello, hello, dreamers. Perla here, as always. Thank you for your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and do so. We would love to have you. So this is Capricorn, Aquarius, CUSP. Oh, my love, my love, my love. Fill your own cup, my love. Fill your own cup is what I keep on hearing on repeat. It is time for you to fill your own cup just for the simple fact that you're wonderful. There's a couple of things that are coming through. You're needing to start doing things just because of the simple fact that you want to do them, not necessarily because of what they're going to bring or the perception that people are going to have because you're doing A, B, C, or D. You're doing them because you simply want to do them, right? If you're walking, and I'm going to just use these things as an example. If you're working out, you're walking on the treadmill, and all of a sudden you feel like busting up and dancing while you're on the treadmill, go ahead and do it. You don't have to do it, video yourself and post it. Just do it because you want to do it. There is a sense here where there is some type of liberation or some type of childlike energy that wants to come out, that wants to come out and play, that just wants to be expressed without any explanation. If you look at children, toddlers, when they're growing up, they ask the most craziest questions. They say the craziest things, and they say exactly what it is that they mean, right? They verbalize what it is that they're seeing. They verbalize what it is that they are experiencing. To the level of their capacity, right? Based on their vocabulary. For a lot of you, this sense of wanting to try something new, whether it is the way that you're dressing, maybe you want to dress up every day and you work remote from home. Who gives a damn? Wear your stilettos, put your suit on, put your tie on, put whatever the heck you want to put on. It is whatever makes you feel like you, right? And there is a sense here where these dynamics of you are trying to self-express, are trying to come out. And some of you are suppressing it or are trying to silence it or rationalize it. The same way that your parents or the authorities in your life rationalize your questionings when you were growing up. Silence your curiosity, silence your creativity when you were growing up. And I need you to identify those patterns, not because you need to go and heal that and you have to do all of this deep shadow. No, that's not what is happening here. This is just realizing or coming into the awareness that sometimes you hold yourself back because there's still a part of you that when that childlike energy wants to express in a certain way, you are playing the parent, and instead of rewriting that situation or encouraging that childlike energy, you're reacting maybe unconsciously to the same way that your parents did when you were growing up, right? Not allowing yourself to self-express. One of the things that I'm going to share this little story, and I've shared it before. When my kids, so I have four kids, and I had three in 1 year, and my second oldest, um, growing up until very recently, had issues sweating, so his body couldn't regulate heat, and he would be a kid that we would go to the park and when it started, he was about 2 years old when we started to notice that there was an issue. And he would get completely naked at the park, take off his clothes down to like the way he was born. And when I took him to the doctor, I was like, okay, something is going on here. I don't think that it's a mental thing. I think it's like physically, physiologically, like something is happening. And they ran some tests, they did a couple of things, and then we kind of figure out like his body, he wasn't sweating, his body was not regulating heat, like regulating itself in the way that it needed to. And this went in, I want to say, to probably like about a year or a year and a half or so ago. And he still doesn't really sweat, he just gets damp. But anyways, the whole point was that I had to talk to him because I was like, okay, I understand that something is going on physically, but when we are in public, we can't be naked. Like that's just the law, right? But what we did is that then we started, his clothing started changing. We started buying clothing that helped support his overheating. So the materials of his clothing changed, the materials of his bedding, everything started to change. But he was a part of it. He was a part of wanting to choose what his clothes look like. And even my girls, by the time they were old enough to choose, like they were choosing their outfits, they were dressing up, and people are like, you're just gonna let them wear that? I'm like, yeah, that's what they want to wear. If it's weather appropriate, that's what they're gonna wear. Like I do not care. That is their self-expressive way. And I love it because now at this age as teenagers, I love seeing like how they range from like one genre to the next when it comes to like their dressing and things like that. And I just admire it because I was told what to wear. I was told what was appropriate, what wasn't. And my kids don't. But back to the story. There was one summer when he was 3. This kid was obsessed with Spider-Man for years, years and years. Um, and he had these Spider-Man's rain boots. And he wore these boots every single day. And when summer came, I explained to him, I was like, hey, buddy, these rain boots are going to be a little bit hot for the weather, this and this and that. And he looked me dead in the eyes and he's like, that's what I want to wear. And I was like, okay, but do you understand? That's what I want to wear. Okay. So I would grab a pair of flip-flops, put them in my bag, and out we would go. And this kid wore his rain boots the entire summer. Never needed the flip-flops, never. How his body tolerated it, I have no idea, but he did it. And why do I say that? Because another parent would have forced that child to take off those rain boots because they weren't appropriate for the summer, because they weren't appropriate for what his body was dealing with, or et cetera, et cetera. And what tends to happen is when we do that to our children, we start to silence their own voice. So instead, at that moment, I just kind of was like, okay, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Now, for a lot, why is it that I'm sharing like my own personal experience? And it's the thing about like wanting you to see what it is, or wanting to explain to you in a way that you can easily understand that not everything has to be very deep rooted trauma where you were like sexually assaulted or you were abused in any way or anything like that. Something as simple as telling a child no to their creative nature can change the way that that child then grows up into like their teenage and adulthood. And I feel that things are just falling left and right. And I feel that for a lot of you guys, this is what happens. So now that there's something inside of you that is telling you like, hey, let's wear this, let's do this, let's do that. When that creative part of you wants to come out, you are in an essence silencing it. And spirit is asking you, hey, can you pay attention and stop silencing your creativity? Stop silencing your voice. All right, let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card for your closing message. I don't know what fell. I have a big shelf over there with all of my things, and it just fell off. So we'll see what it is. So we have faith in your dreams. And when I talk about these dreams, this is not necessarily something that you're trying to create or something that you're trying to bring into flourishing. I feel that it's just that dream of the little you. Maybe you used to play an instrument. Maybe you used to draw. Maybe, you used to, it could be something as simple as like you used to draw on the walls and you used to get in trouble. So now you're wanting to draw again, right? Maybe drawing on the walls is exactly what you need. And I know that this is gonna sound crazy, but when my kids were little, I didn't have like a traditional living room. I had my living room became my playroom. And half of the walls, all of the walls, all around the wall were painted in chalkboard colors. So they were black. And we had chalks everywhere, and everybody just went in and like drew their pictures. Everybody had their one, did their thing, and they would just sit there. And anybody that would come to the house and ourselves would admire what everybody drew. And for some of you, I would even invite you to take a little piece of your wall, maybe a wall in your apartment, in your house, either painted black, like the chalkboard color, or maybe put like white, like what is it called? Like the whiteboard. They sell like the whiteboard wallpaper, and maybe just start drawing on the wall. And that may just be something that is going to release something that has been inside of you, and it allows you to connect deeper with that inner child energy that is trying to tell you that it is okay to be you. I hope that makes sense. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing, guys. Take care. Love you all. Bye bye.